From the home of the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City, Cal and UCLA, one will take home the national championship. The Cal Bears can see it. Childhood dreams realized. The first championship felt so good, they want another one. UCLA can see it. 4 years of frustration turned to elation. The Cardiac Kids beating as one. They meet for the national championship, and you can see it next. From ASA Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City, the Women's College World Series National Championship game. It's the UCLA Bruins and the defending national champion Cal Golden Bears. Both these teams had to win twice yesterday to advance. Cal knocking out the top seed Arizona, UCLA scoring twice in the bottom of the 7th inning to beat Texas to move on. Another standing room only crowd here in Oklahoma City for this national championship game. Hi, I'm Beth Mowens, along with U.S. national team members Stacy Newman and Jenny Finch. And Jenny, let's start out with this Cal team. Only 4 times in the history of this tournament has a team been able to repeat. We know it's a tough thing to do. Why is Cal here on the brink?
They've had a solid pitching performance in the mound by Kelly Anderson. They have strong, solid defense behind them and the great offense to put them in this game to help solidify the Cal softball program.
Fighting for a little respect today, looking to go back-to-back, and standing in the way, Stacy, the UCLA Bruins, the senior class, desperately seeking their first national championship.
Well, UCLA 8 national championships in their history, but this senior class, not one of their own. This is their 3rd trip here to this championship game, so they know what it feels like. They just haven't been able to seal the deal. So today, a chance to get a ring of their own.
Every class in the 29-year history of UCLA softball has taken home a national championship. Here is the starting lineup for UCLA, and let's hear about it from their senior third baseman, Toriah Mims.
The 2003 UCLA Bruin lineup is filled with power and speed. You can see it with our leadoff, NATASHA WATLEY. She can kill you at the plate, hitting multiple home runs this season, and leads our team in stolen bases. Claire Sua is our number 4, and no park can hold her. She can kill you with just 1 pitch. Monique Mejia, another senior, is helping NATASHA lead the way on stolen bases, and she hit her first career home run this season.
And NATASHA WATLEY, one of the heroes last night for UCLA, with trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the 7th. And she led the rally as UCLA came back to win it 2-1 to advance to this championship game. One of the best at getting on base and causing problems for the opposition. A fly ball out to right. And handled by KRISTEN Morley. There's 1 down. Big to keep Watley off the base paths. And that will be top priority for Kelly Anderson.
Kelly Anderson enters the game with a 23-11 record on the season, a 1.06 ERA. She's done a great job of keeping hitters off balance, relying on her defense every game for the Cal Bears. We won't see overpowering speed from Anderson, but we will see movement in and out, getting the UCLA Bruins to get ground balls and use her defense.
Caitlin Bainey fouls it off. Anderson, the sophomore righty from Woodland, California, has pitched in 60 of the 68 postseason innings for Cal and has given up just 5 earned runs. And here is the freshman who had the game winner last night for the Bruins.
Well, going back to Kelly Anderson, one of the numbers that's really important to notice also is that on the week, she's thrown 589 pitches. So that's a number that we're going to have to keep track of and make sure to see if that has any effect on her throughout the course of this ballgame.
Both teams coming from the loser's bracket, both pitchers, Kelly Anderson and Keira Goerl, have been on the mound, and their teams have jumped on their back and rode them to come back to this final day of the College World Series.
Bainey back up the middle. UCLA has its first base runner.
Well, that hit very reminiscent of the RBI game winner last night for Bainey. The freshman doing a great job in these pressure situations. Anderson again working that outside. Just a little flick of the wrists. You see Bainey, a very strong, lanky player, gets herself on base early in the going.
Coach Ingquist said entering the day, we can't come with power, we can't come with big swings. She's a finesse pitcher, she pitches the ball in and out. We just have to get the barrel on the ball and make things happen.
Sue Ingquist, 15th season as a head coach, 28 years associated with the UCLA program as a head coach and assistant, and as one of the greatest players in UCLA history. And now the very dangerous Toria Mims will settle into the batter's box. She's got 3 home runs in this Women's College World Series. The balls have been going out at an alarming rate. A World Series record for home runs hit in this year's series. And Mims has been leading the way. Signal relayed in from Courtney Scott, her catcher. Clips the outside corner.
Well, Kelly Anderson getting off to a quick 0-2 on Toria Mims. I know Coach Neinmeyer said that's so important to her game is get ahead, see if she can get those batters to chase. That's something that UCLA was doing early on in that Texas matchup last night. Finally found a way to make those adjustments in the bottom of the 7th, kind of a last-minute adjustment there for the Bruins, but you see Anderson going right at him early on.
Mims fouls that one away. Here is the defense for Cal. James Eldridge and Morley in the outfield. Galindo, Spencer, Manahan, and Nelson Anderson throwing to Courtney Scott, and Vicky Galindo in particular at third base has been stellar defensively. The 0-2 count to Toria Mims. And the strikeout for Anderson, 2 down.
Anderson coming up big. Toria Mims has owned Cal. She's 8 for 15 versus Cal. Now 8 for 16. Anderson doing a nice job of hitting that outside corner. Great drop ball, moving away from Toria Mims.
We started to see by the end of the night last night, these pitchers that have thrown so many innings having to rely a lot more on their change of speed as the strikeout counts have kind of fallen off as they work deeper into this tournament. Perhaps that's something we're going to see a lot more of today as well.
When you're over the 500 pitch mark, it comes down to mental toughness on the mound. You're not going to have the power that you came in with. You're going to have to really work on hitting your spots and mixing up speeds.
Sewell right back to Anderson over to first. A base hit, 1 left on for the Bruins. Cal coming up. UCLA's scoreless in the top of the first, and the Cal Bears are coming up for the first time in this national championship game here in Oklahoma City. And the lineup for Cal, one of the things that Diane Neinmeyer, their coach, has talked about has been the balance of this lineup. 7 of the 9 starters have driven in a run in the postseason, so they've been effective all throughout that lineup of bringing people around, but in particular, you've got to watch first baseman Veronica Nelson in the 4 spot, the NCAA career walks leader. A lot of those intentional because of the home run power that she brings to the plate every time she steps up. And in the circle for UCLA will be the junior and new career wins leader for UCLA after picking up her 98th win last night. Keira Goerl, the junior from Moreno Valley, California.
She has pitched 46 of the 60 games for the UCLA Bruins this year. She has been their workhorse, their pillar, their backbone to getting them back here to the final game.
For UCLA, Sue Ingquist has been having some fun with the media, talking about how they've been playing late into the night throughout this tournament. And Goerl was pitching till about 11 o'clock or so last night again. The first pitch to Galindo in for a strike, and Vicky Galindo has been one of the unsung heroes thus far for Cal.
Well, Galindo really has been very much of a spark plug for this Cal Bear team. Just pesky getting on base, not necessarily crushing the ball over the fence or anything like that, but getting herself on and making things happen on the base pass as well. Really just, again, just been an awesome, energetic addition to this team and done a lot of good things here in the series.
She has gotten on base in every game here at the Women's College World Series, just what you want your leadoff hitter to do. The sophomore from Union City, California, has gotten a hit in 13 of her last 15 games. Stepping in on the left side. As a slapper doing whatever it takes. Get on base against Goerl. These two teams very familiar with one another coming out of the Pac-10 Conference. The 10th time it's an all Pac-10 Conference final, and the defensive alignment for the Bruins, Duran, Ramos, and Beatty. Mims, Watley, Mejia, and Sua in the infield. Emily Zaplotosh behind the plate for Keira Goerl. It has been an uncharacteristic 10 errors in the series for UCLA, and Sue Enquist has been harping on it all weekend. We cannot beat ourselves.
Well, Coach Enquist hammers home the point that defense wins championships. We've seen errors not only hurt UCLA in this tournament, but really hurt a lot of teams. Yesterday, a big error for Arizona that led to Cal's comeback in that first matchup. And again, defense has to be solid. Your offense, obviously you have to score, but if you're not playing solid defense, you're going to give the other team opportunities.
Galindo having a great AB. Keira entering her 40th inning here at the College World Series.
The 3-2 pitch to Galindo. While both coaches talked about being aggressive at the plate prior to the game, they probably won't be too disappointed with a lot of 3-2 counts and make those pitchers keep throwing that thing as they've done for the last 48 hours. In her 16th season, looking for back-to-back national championships. She's talked about not only winning the title, but building a consistent program. Down to Watley at short, and across. They get Galindo one down.
Well, yesterday in UCLA's second game against Texas, we saw an error again coming up to hurt them, but this time, the first batter of the game, Watley does a great job making that routine play. Good contact by Galindo, but again, Watley getting her feet a little wet here in the defensive end, getting some confidence.
These two teams met on Thursday, the opening game for them in the series. It went 10 innings, a 7-3 win for Cal, and they scored 3 unearned runs, 4 total in the 10th inning due to errors from the Bruins. For Cal, that snapped a 16-game losing streak to UCLA that dated back to April of 1998.
When you're here at the College World Series and teams give you errors, you have to take advantage of those, and that's what the Cal Bears did in that opening game versus UCLA.
Well, before that matchup, we had a chance to all sit and talk with Coach Neinmeyer, so it's sort of outdated information, but it's particularly true now. She said, we have to take advantage of UCLA's errors and mistakes. We saw in that first game they really did. They came ahead, got in the winner's bracket early, and now facing that team again, the same holds true. You got to take advantage of anything that UCLA gives you.
Every coach agreed, said to win a national championship, you have to have a little luck and a few breaks. And we've seen it happen over and over again this College World Series.
The 2-1 to James, and Watley is there, 2 down. The matchup from Thursday night won by Cal. with a 7-3 win, snapped that 16-game losing streak. Goerl with 13 strikeouts, and the errors costly for UCLA. Goerl takes care of the first two she faces, and now Courtney Scott, the senior, will step in. She has had some big at-bats for Cal thus far in the series. The jug's gone up there on our scoreboard, 67 miles per hour. The 0-1. As Goerl came upstairs with the rise.
Well, that last pitch, Keira Goerl throwing 65 miles an hour. That's a little more her typical. Last night in those late games, we saw it was dropping down to the lower 60s, 60, 61. So it looks like she might have gotten some good rest and comes out with a little bit more fire. But again, those pitch counts are going to be a cause for concern as the game continues on. She's thrown a lot of pitches this week.
That one just missed away, as has Kelly Anderson. Cal has already played in 2 extra inning games. The 10-inning affair against UCLA on Thursday, and then yesterday afternoon, 12 innings before they beat Arizona to force an if necessary game.
This is where all those hours in the weight room pay off. It comes down in May who's the strongest team at the end of the season.
And that's a much bigger part now of the college game, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I know at Arizona, at least, we lifted weights 3 days a week, and we do conditioning 5 days a week. And that was a big part of our success, is being strong mentally and physically by the end of the season. You play 65 games in a matter of 4 months. That's a tough road, especially for a pitcher, especially one of Keira Goerl, who pitched 46 of those 60 games for the Bruins.
The 2-2 coming from Goerl with 2 down, trying to take care of Courtney Scott before Veronica Nelson could step to the plate. And Nelson is the type of player that can change everything just by walking into the batter's box.
Well, on the tournament, I think she's 2 for 10, and both of those hits are long balls. So obviously anybody that messed around with her is paid dearly.
That's when she had the chance to swing the bat.
Yeah.
She's been walked most of the tournament. Last night against Arizona, Alicia Hollowell making a mistake, and Nelson had the chance to send another one out of the ballpark, putting the Cal Bears up on Arizona.
Two again to Scott, down 5 down. Jenny, you mentioned earlier getting breaks, big breaks for not only Cal with Arizona deciding to pitch to Nelson, but also for UCLA late last night with Texas deciding to pitch for NATASHA WATLEY, and both the All-Americans came up big.
Well, the armchair coaches that we all are sat back and kind of questioned that decision. Yeah, NATASHA WATLEY was 1 for 3 on the day after coming off a couple of strikeouts, but I don't know if she's the one you want to let beat you. Whatever the decision was made, and she made the most of it, got herself on the board, and kept the Bruins in that game.
Missing away is Goerl. Now the count full to Scott. Courtney working out of an 0-2 hole now to the full count.
Cal's doing a great job of being patient in the box against Keira, forcing her to throw strikes.
Scott just fouled down the left field line.
We're going to see a lot of change-ups from both pitchers today.
When you talk about change-ups, Keira Goerl's change-up, not necessarily her best pitch 99% of the time, but here in the World Series, it really has been very effective. She utilized it all day yesterday against those Texas hitters. Got herself some strikeouts on the day as well, and it's so important, as we said, when you lose some of your speed and your velocity, you got to mix that in there to keep the batters honest.
Throwing the heat can only get you so far.
And Scott, from an 0-2 count, draws the walk, and that brings Nelson to the plate. And for Veronica, Arizona deciding to pitch to her, and this was the result. A towering home run that broke a 1-1 tie, and Cal went on to win it.
So there's a reason why they call her the Barry Bonds of softball. She has a great eye, she takes her pitches, but if you slip up and you miss, she will make you pay.
We saw there, she said she loves to watch her home runs leave the ballpark. She's like, you're kind of in awe of yourself when you hit it. And you saw there, she took her time, walked out of the box, and then started trotting around the bases.
Well, no surprise here, Sue Enquist pretty open about how to pitch to Veronica Nelson and said, hey, we're just not going to let her beat us.
This is not a bad decision at all. Haley Woods behind Nelson is 2 for 18 on the College World Series, hitting 111.
Well, I think also she's just a freshman, so a big pressure situation here at the World Series is doubly difficult. And, you know, again, the Bruins decide they're going to take their chances with Woods and let her beat them.
Inquist says Nelson is going to have to earn it from us. We will make her earn it.
Not surprisingly, this is Nelson's 9th intentional walk of the Women's College World Series. So I don't think Coach Enquist is the only coach that made that decision. Nobody wants anything to do with the slugger.
Her 105th walk of the season. That's a lot of free tickets down to first base.
By comparison, Barry Bonds walks about 1 in every 4 plate appearances. Veronica Nelson walks once in every 2 plate appearances. Incredible number. And the comparison of plate appearances, Barry Bonds to Veronica Nelson, and now it'll be up to Haley Woods to make UCLA pay. On the outside corner 0-1 at 67 miles an hour.
Keira Goerl doing a great job of getting ahead. That first pitch, you have runners on first and second. You want to go right at Haley Woods.
A little discussion going on out there for the Bruins. See Kelly Inouye Perez now coming out to join the festivities.
Probably feeding Keira a little info about Haley Woods at the plate.
And the discussion starting to break up now in the circle, but we saw Emily Zaplatosh, the freshman catcher, start in on the conversation, and that's something that you really have to have as a catcher behind the plate. Even if it's only your first year, you've got to take charge out there.
Well, that's a big part of the catcher's job, is just keeping things comfortable, making sure that your pitcher, everybody on the defense knows what's expected, and it's impressive to see Zaplatosh taking control. But again, it's a World Series. If you haven't learned it by now, I don't know if you're going to.
Zaplatosh having big shoes to fill. Having the 4-time All-American Stacey Newman leave, but Sue Enquist has been very pleased.
Haley Woods out into deep right. Battling the sun all the way was Bainey, but she makes the catch. A couple of walks, 2 left on for Cal in the bottom of the first. 1 complete, no score in this quest for the national championship in Oklahoma City. We started out with 8 in Oklahoma City, down to just 2 in all California championship game. Let's check in with Ellen Weinberg.
Thanks, Beth. Well, head coach for UCLA, Sue Enquist, is known as one of the best motivators in the game. I have on a t-shirt that she gave to her players when they got to the College World Series. You can see the front, it's pretty basic. The side, it says wit. That's been their team motto all year long, whatever it takes. The back, brew, win, and attitude. Now today, when the players got to the ballpark, the coaching staff gave them each a different card. Here's a sample of what one of the cards looked like. This says, aspire, be a star, make a difference, expect success, think big, believe in you. Now each player got a different card with individual messages for that particular player. Pretty special.
Thank you very much, Ellen.
Again, inspiration is such an important part for any athlete. You got to find a way to motivate yourself, and sometimes catchphrase will be what it is. Sometimes it's superstition, but whatever it takes to get yourself in the right frame of mind. And potentially the biggest game of your career here at the Women's College World Series.
You guys may get a little more of that with the U.S. national team. Arizona head coach Mike Candrea will lead the Olympic team. The 1-1 pitch to Ramos. At 60 miles per hour. Sue Enquist, a part of 8 NCAA championships. Cal got the last one, though, in 2002. And trying to make it back-to-back. Arizona and UCLA are the only 2 other programs that have won consecutive championships. Both have done it twice. And Arizona in '96 and '97, the most recent to do so. There have been 5 different national championships in the last champions in the last 5 years, as Galindo takes care of Ramos one down.
Galindo has been so defensively sound this series for Cal Berkeley.
Just 1 error now and 20 assists for Vicky Galindo over at the hot corner. A spectacular day once again in Oklahoma City. And a nice breeze for a change. We're used to a lot of humidity here this time of year at the Women's College World Series, but the weather has been terrific. And now Emily's NATASHA, a part of that freshman class at UCLA that Sue Enquist talks about, their immunity to pressure. And now they have taken it all in stride. Spencer at short, 2 down.
When you talk about immunity to pressure, another player that has that same knack is the shortstop for Cal, Chelsea Spencer. She's come up huge all week for Cal. Just a sophomore, but she plays with a lot of energy, a lot of fire, and you never know she's playing for her 2nd consecutive national championship. Just looks like another day at the park.
Now it's Toria Auelua, the senior from Garden Grove, California. A solo home run against Texas in the first of 2 matchups against the Longhorns yesterday. Anderson getting ahead in the count, 0-2 now.
Coach Enquist's plan of attack against Anderson was, we have to be ready for the horizontal ball movement.
That one was down and away, and Anderson got Auelua. 2nd strikeout of the game for Kelly. 3 up and 3 down in the 2nd. Bottom 2 coming up. No score as we move to the bottom of the 2nd inning. UCLA and Cal at the Women's College World Series, the national championship game. For the first time ever, 2 teams fighting their way out of the loser's bracket, the elimination bracket, to earn trips to the national championship game. Kaleo Eldridge with a big home run yesterday, 4 of 16 so far in the series for the sophomore from Hawaii. Foul back out of play.
Becky mentioned 4 hits on the tournament, but came up huge with a home run in order to get the Bears on the board against that Arizona team in that first matchup. So she's another one of those gamers for Coach Ninebyer's Bears.
This is a tough spot right here for Keira Goerl with Eldridge and then Chelsea Spencer to follow. The 6 and 7 hitters in the lineup for Cal, the most dangerous at this World Series. They're hitting a combined .314 with 8 RBI, and they've scored 9 times. Not only can they manufacture runs with small ball, but they can take you deep as well.
Well, Coach Ninebeyer talked very highly of both the top and the bottom of the order. She said they've done an unbelievable job in this postseason getting the job done. They haven't had to rely on that middle 3s quite so much. The numbers definitely speak to that.
That one just fouled down the line.
And as we mentioned, Kaleo Eldridge taking that ball deep off of Alicia Hollowell, and again, giving the Bears some momentum and giving them a chance to get to this championship game here on Monday afternoon.
That definitely was not on the scouting report. She had not hit a home run all year for the Cal Bears. Right back to Goerl. Shovels it over to first, 1 down.
Coach Candrea often makes the comment, this is where you decide you can differentiate between the girls and the women are the players who perform here at the College World Series.
And we would all like to extend our congratulations to Mike Candrea as the U.S. Olympic coach and a competitor that will be sorely missed next year here in Oklahoma City, as he will take a year off from the University of Arizona and commit himself full-time to coaching the U.S. national team, the Olympic team that will head to Athens, Greece next summer.
Well, in his post-game interview yesterday, he talked about how this year really felt like it got away from him. He knew he only had one season, and he'd be off on a sabbatical to coach that Olympic team, and he was definitely sad and excited about the opportunity to coach in the Olympics, but definitely going to miss his players and his program out in Tucson.
It was a very emotional season for Coach Candrea all season long. He was so proud of how his team really had stepped up and really performed when it counted at the end of the season and all throughout Pac-10.
Now the 1-1 to Spencer, in for a strike. 1 and 2 the count to Chelsea. The sophomore from San Leandro, California. 13 freshmen or sophomores on this Cal roster. The big losses from last year, pitcher Jocelyn Force and third baseman Candace Harper. Goerl gets the strikeout, 2 down.
That's what Courtney Scott, Amanda Scott is her sister. Courtney Scott said before the series is all those freshmen have seen how much attention, notoriety we've gotten, and of course envy those rings on those upperclassmen seniors, and now it's their chance. They want one.
2 down here in the bottom of the second, and now the second baseman Jessica Permanian to face Goerl. WATLEY, good range at short. 3 up, 3 down. When we come back, a closer look at the Pac-10 Player of the Year, NATASHA WATLEY. To complete in the national championship game, let's get to know UCLA shortstop NATASHA WATLEY.
Hi, I'm NATASHA WATLEY. I'm a senior at UCLA and I play shortstop. I was a member of the 2002 women's national team. We won the world championship and I'm hoping to make a spot on the 2004 Olympic team. I'm the leadoff batter and I enjoy it because I get to set the tone and get momentum on our side. Winning the national championship in my senior year would be incredible, it'd be awesome, it'd be great. Just to walk off my senior year with the national championship.
And there were not too many dry eyes in the house when WATLEY scored the game-winning run last night for UCLA in the 7th inning. She's due up third. And a quick line out, Mejia down to Permanian at second, 1 away.
It was such an emotional win for the Bruins last night. Monique Mejia came up with 1 out and got things started, and then another senior, NATASHA WATLEY, came up big, and 2 freshmen in between there, giving the Bruins the win.
One of those freshmen now steps up to the plate.
Roller down to third, Galindo. And Kelly Anderson sticking to her game plan. Lots of strikeouts and ground balls thus far.
This is what we've seen from Anderson all week long here at the College World Series. She does a nice job of moving the ball in and out, working that horizontal zone, getting Toria to strike out, using her defense.
Couple quick outs again. Line and fair by WATLEY. Extra bases. Into the corner. NATASHA will try for 3. The throw. Not in time. A 2-run triple.
But once again, you see a player not looking like there's much pressure in this situation. She's not even tired after that run around the bases. I don't even want to know what I'd look like. But on that inside pitch.
That's why we call her the thoroughbred horse. She can move.
After she drives that down the right field line, you know she's looking through the whole way, never breaking stride. A little hook slide on the outside of part of
I talked to Natasha before the game, and she told me she got sad when she put her uniform on. She realized she'd be putting it on for the very last time, and she said that made her very emotional. And then she told me she promised herself, win or lose, she was going to leave it all out on the field today. Well, we just saw that.
Thank you, Ellen. Well, this has been a common occurrence for UCLA Bruin fans to see WATLEY on base.
She's ran the bases in every single game this year for the Bruins. Talk about an amazing stat.
Well, and not only is it amazing she's on the bases, but she makes the most of it while she's there. Leads the team in stolen bases and one scored, I think, as well. So, yep, does a lot of good things for the Bruins.
60 games this year for UCLA. She's been on board in each one of them. That's the first triple of this Women's College World Series. And UCLA has the go-ahead run 60 feet away from home. Caitlin Bainey has hits in her last 2 at-bats, including the game-winning RBI single late last night to beat Texas. She singled off of Anderson in the first, right back up the middle.
Bainey, a really athletic, talented hitter. She can bunt, she can put the ball in play. She has a great eye up at the plate, and she has power.
Anderson feeling the heat a little bit here in the top of the third from WATLEY and the Bruins. She came up huge the other day here in a very hostile environment in the win against the home team here, the Oklahoma Sooners.
Coach Neidmeyer told her after the Oklahoma game, this is the worst environment you will ever play in.
She was able to work out of jams against the Sooners. She's in one again here in the national championship game with 2 outs in the third.
And we know that helped prepare her entering this game of the College World Series. This is her first College World Series on the mound for the Cal Bears.
Well, as we talked about, Cal Bears, the 2002 national champions last year, riding the arm of Jocelyn Forrest. Anderson was basically in the dugout last year, but she talked about how important that experience was for her as an observer, really watching how Jocelyn handled that pressure, how she managed the ultimate stage in college softball, and she's obviously learned a thing or two because she's throwing like a veteran out here this year.
Her composure on the mound has just been tremendous. She's only a sophomore, but yet we don't see emotion from her. She's a real tough competitor out there on the mound for Berkeley.
We've all agreed, I think, that their poise, everybody on this Cal team has been one of the most impressive things of this series. So now with 2 outs, it's Toria Mims, the number 3 hitter. Toria struck out in the first. Another chance here for the UCLA senior class to deliver in their quest for a national championship. When you step onto the Bruins campus to play softball, expectations are high, not just for one ring, but multiple. And it's been a long wait for this senior class. This is their 3rd championship game appearance, and they've come up empty in the previous 2.
That is the fact that this senior class not able to win one, and sometimes that can actually work to your detriment. It's a pressure that you carry with you every time you step out on the field. I know, Jenny, you and I both as players felt that same pressure. It's the same story at Arizona. And Berkeley is about to get that kind of thing going for themselves. Winning last year, getting back to the championship game again. So Coach Neidmeyer talks about getting to that elite status. You got to keep doing it over and over again if you want to get up to that same status.
Big pitch coming up right here for Kelly Anderson. Ahead in the count, 1 and 2. 2 out, 2 on for UCLA. Just misses. Out the way.
Toria laying off the pitch that she struck out on last at bat, doing a great job being more disciplined at the plate.
Well, we know softball's a game of adjustments. And Toria Mims, such a great softball player, and knows a thing or two about making those adjustments as the game progresses.
Mims reaches out. And a second, Romanian takes care of it. A base hit 2 left on for UCLA through 2.5, no score. The national championship trophy. Cal got one last year, looking to defend. UCLA, they've got more trophies than anyone. They won number 9 to take back to Westwood in this Women's College World Series national championship game. No score as we move to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Cal Bears looking to be the 3rd school to win back-to-back titles. Toria Mims is leading the way for UCLA in their quest. 3 home runs here in Oklahoma City. Last year, there were 7 home runs hit total. And up to 19 this year, a new record at the Women's College World Series, the most in the 22 years of this tournament. This is the 10th time 2 Pac-10 schools have played for the championship. The conference has won 15 of the previous 21 titles, and 12 times this trophy has gone back to the state of California. It will be headed there again, but will it be to Berkeley or to LA? KRISTEN Morley, it's 9 and then the top of the order against Keira Goerl.
Both coaches agree this game is going to be no mystery. They've seen each other 4 times on the season. UCLA going 3-0 in Pac-10, and then Cal Berkeley coming up with a big win against UCLA here at the College World Series.
We talk about those matchups between these 2 teams in the Pac-10. UCLA winning all 3 of those matchups. But again, yesterday we saw Cal face a team in Arizona, a team that they had lost 2-3 times, and were able to come up with 2 big wins. So obviously that doesn't repeat as far as history is concerned. Today's a new day, and Cal's going to treat it just as such.
Morley to WATLEY, who's playing in, makes him throw one down.
Courtney Scott was telling us how no one believed Cal could win it last year, and that was the neatest thing about the entire experience. She said, even some of our own players, I don't think, thought we could do it, and we did it. So it proves that anything can happen, and we can do anything. And that's what they're hoping for here at the College World Series, is again to prove everybody wrong, coming in as the number 6 seed.
This would be a major move for the Cal program. As Goerl stares down Vicky Galindo. It's been a sport dominated by UCLA and the University of Arizona. And the Cal Bears looking to put themselves a notch above all the rest and try and inch closer to joining the likes of the 2 teams that are on top right now. And UCLA's presence here makes it 18 years in a row that either the Bruins or the Wildcats have been in the national championship game. Just an unbelievable stretch for Sue Enquist and Mike Candrea in those 2 programs.
The 4 seniors for UCLA Bruins have been in this same game 3 times out of their 4 years.
The 1-1 to Galindo. Got a heat from Goerl, 65 miles an hour. Vicky, a local kid from the Berkeley area, who played a lot of summer ball with some of the players on the Cal team. She had a few offers to go elsewhere, but wanted to play in the Pac-10, wanted to play close to home. And didn't have an easy job stepping in to replace Candace Harper. But Diane Neinmeyer needed somebody there. Galindo actually used to play short and second base in junior college. And when she came to Cal, Diane said, hey, how about trying out third? She said, all right, I'll do it. And she's been unflappable in this Women's College World Series. We talked a little bit about the changeup earlier, and we're seeing the difference in speeds for Goerl from about 65 miles an hour all the way dropping down to, on occasion, under 50 miles an hour on the changeup. So tough to have that plate poise that the coaches like to talk about when the speeds are changing like that.
Well, so much of hitting is timing. It's all about making contact in the proper spot as far as in proximity to the pitcher, so that changeup will always mess up a batter's timing.
Mims has it at third. 2 down.
Well, basically in softball, there's hitters and there's slappers. Vicky Galindo has a very uncanny type of slap. It's almost a half slap, half swing, because she moves her feet, but then she really gets her feet set for that swing. With a little motion and gets her a little bit closer to first base in order to use her wheels a little more effectively.
It's almost like you're making a concession. I can't stand in there really and hit you, but I'm going to try and find another way to get on base. And as you mentioned, with the slappers, getting that running start down to first really can put the pressure on the defense.
It puts them a step or two closer to first base, allowing them to start their momentum, heading down to first base.
0-1 to James. Right back to Goerl, the backhand, over to first. The pitchers in control thus far here in the national championship. 3 complete. Cal still looking for its first hit against the UCLA ace. Scoreless here at the Women's College World Series National Championship game. UCLA and Cal as we move to the top of the 4th inning here at ASA Hall of Fame Stadium. Claire Sua will start things off. 4, 5, and 6 in the order. How about that? Our biggest sports thrill, batting behind Stacy Movement. We had this discussion the other night. A big honor for you as well, Stace.
Well, a big honor indeed. I still think that she's having a little fun with me on that one. Knowing I'd be up here in the booth, but she's had some big moments of her very own. Have nothing to do with me.
Well, no doubting that the two of you, as we have seen throughout the week, have really taken hold of your status as role models for a lot of the young girls that have been running around looking for you two all weekend long. And getting to talk to you a lot this weekend, certainly a part of your job, if you will, of playing softball and playing on a national team that the two of you seem to relish quite a bit.
Well, you know, you have to give back to the sport. We were all young players at one time, and it's good to have people to look up to, and it's just a pleasure for us to be able to give back to the community and give back to the girls that are going to be standing where we are someday.
You've both had an opportunity, Jenny, as well, to take part in a lot of the different things going on here, and certainly promoting the sport of softball around the country as well as around the world.
Anything we can do to bring notoriety to our sport and give these little girls a dream. When we were growing up, we didn't get to see college games on TV, and now thanks to ESPN, not only the World Series is covered, but even during the season games are on television.
Perhaps in a couple of years we'll be talking about some of those young ladies right there inside the fence playing for a national championship, which is something that Cal catcher Courtney Scott used to dream about when she was little, and watching her older sister Amanda. And I know, Jenny, you're constantly looking for somebody to throw to, somebody to catch for you. And I'm sure Amanda was right there hauling her sister all over the place to catch for her when they were growing up.
I know, my parents should have had a little sister around for me to grab.
What a thrill for the Scott family and the parents of those two outstanding young women. They both have won national championships. Courtney last year with Cal, and Amanda with Fresno State in 1999 when she was the national championship winning pitcher, 98, excuse me. Yours was at 99 with UCLA, Stacy.
Courtney was telling us how they sat on the couch and compared their rings back in Fresno, California.
Oh, would she have the upper hand if she had two to take home with her?
One for each hand.
Well, no, to go along with that story, Ron Scott Amanda and Courtney's father played baseball at Miami, and he played in the national championship game, of which he lost.
Oh.
So I understand after that win last year for Cal, both of the Scott girls were giving him a rough time about that.
Kamanian at second, 2 down. Well, Courtney Scott has committed just 2 errors in the last 2 years behind home plate, and has been terrific working with the young pitcher Kelly Anderson all year long.
Well, all year long and all tournament long, Courtney Scott's been awesome on defense, getting out to field that bunt, and once again, so quick behind the plate. The short game was taken away for Arizona, and a lot of it had to do with the play of Courtney Scott.
She's really stepped up her leadership role behind the dish this year. Last year, she had a senior, Jocelyn Forrest, on the mound. And now this year, it's a little different with the freshmen and the sophomores. She had to kind of mold them and cradle them a little bit. And they're developing as college softball pitchers.
There's Amanda Scott looking on. Sporting the Cal gear all weekend. There have been some terrific sisters here throughout the College World Series. So one of your former teammates, Nicole Giordano, and her sister Janine actually played opposite one another with Arizona and Washington. Laura and Randy Berg also at Fresno State.
It's a lot nicer for the Berg family.
They at least got to cheer for the same team. Kelly Anderson with the strikeout. Zaplatosh caught looking. Veronica Nelson. Will they or won't they? Pitch to Ronnie. Find out when we come back. This is why you might think twice. Scoreless UCLA and Cal. No national championship trophy is safe when Veronica Nelson is around. Let's get to know Veronica.
My name is Veronica Nelson. My teammates call me Ronnie, and I'm a senior first baseman for the University of California, Berkeley. I hit cleanup for Cal Berkeley, and my job is to hit the long ball. Before every game, I have to put my uniform on the same way, and it takes me 30 minutes. Winning in 2002 was great, but we're back for another one. In fact, I think I'm just going to take this one right now.
Nelson, cat-like quickness, grabbing that trophy and going. She got one last year, looking for number 2 for Cal. She's due up next. Courtney Scott will lead things off. Scott walked and was stranded at second base back in the first inning. When UCLA walked Nelson behind her and then got Haley Woods to fly out to end the inning.
As a pitcher, you want to think one pitch at a time, one batter at a time. But Veronica Nelson's presence on deck does play a part of your pitching strategy on the mound.
Scott out into shallow right, and Mejia back to make the catch, 1 down. Let's check in with Ellen Weinberg.
Thanks. I'm joined by Veronica Nelson's mom, Sharon. And Sharon, for you, they've been pitching around her. We'll have to see what they're going to do here. But how proud are you of your daughter and the 2 home runs she's had here at the College World Series?
I'm proud of her as a young lady, but I'm extremely proud of the home run that she hit against Arizona because she wanted them so bad. She really wanted that home run. She really wanted to beat that team. So she was excited last night, and it was really an experience to watch all the people follow her around the ballpark and ask for signatures, and her being so gracious and giving them the time to give back. And that was just special to us.
How frustrating is it for you as a mom, knowing she has so much power and she wants to hit at the plate, to see her be the Barry Bonds in the women's game?
Well, that's something she's never wanted to be, was the Barry Bonds. It's frustrating more for me because I make eye contact with her and I know that she really wants to hit the ball. And anytime she gets the swing, she's trying to hit the ball over 2 fields and either to another ballpark. And it's hurting sometimes because sometime after the game she'll come and she said, you know, they still wouldn't give me a chance. And I just tell her that's okay, you did it for the team and that's what this is all about.
Now, we heard she always wanted to be a cheerleader. You're hiding those pictures on her. She wants to know where they are.
I have to rotate those pictures like every month because she'll come home when I'm not there and I can see where she's looking. I have the evidence, and I told her if she keeps bothering me, I'm going to blow them up and send them to ESPN for next year for the College World Series. And she said, Mom, I pay for them. And I told her she doesn't make enough money as a student.
Thanks, Mom. Enjoy the rest of the game.
I have to say, I love how the parents just give it up. Totally sells her daughter out on national television. She's like, I've got the evidence. I mean, that's love right there.
So after the walk, a pinch run around for Veronica Nelson. And with the re-entry rule, Nelson can return, but a strategic move right here to gamble that this is a great opportunity for Cal to score because they will not be able to pinch run for her later in the game if she's on base. Haley Woods stepping in with Hoagland, the pinch runner, down at first.
Well, that strategy of Cal, Coach Neinmeyer, of when to put in that pinch runner, it paid off big for them. Earlier in the tournament, they waited and waited and waited and finally needed that pinch runner very much so in those extra innings. And again, it's just one of the many strategies that a coach here at this level has to take into account. And when you got someone like Ronnie Nelson on base all the time, you really have to think about it.
See Woods squared around to bunt. We saw UCLA bunt with one out twice last night, including in the 7th inning, which ended up working for the Bruins. WATLEY coming up big, scoring that runner with 2 outs from second base.
And we've also seen Woods lay down a bunt. I believe it was in that 10th inning rally for Cal against UCLA. So she has laid down the sacrifice once already in this series to move a runner around. Scoreless in the national championship game. Woods swinging away, strikes out. Second of the game for Keira Goerl.
You see the frustration on the face of Haley Woods, wanting so badly to get the job done. But Keira Goerl still has some juice left. Gets her with that up rise ball pitch in the zone. Haley Woods taking a hack. But again, Keira Goerl still got her stuff.
From 43 feet away, the reaction time is similar to that of a 95-mile-per-hour fastball being thrown by, say, a Roger Clemens, who's going for win number 300 today with the New York Yankees. But there isn't a whole lot of time to make up your mind in that batter's box.
We have to take into account, too, that she's over 500 pitches in this week of the College World Series. That's comparable to a month of a Major League Baseball starter.
Eldridge quickly falls behind 0-2. Go-ahead run on board for Cal, their first base runner since the first inning. All 3 of those have been walks. Nelson twice and Scott once. With the runner going, fouled back. Goerl, like Anderson, has turned this into a ground ball affair, and letting their defense carry the load. If softball were this easy, they'd call it baseball. Well, the softball fans, you can see the growth of the sport. They're much more TV savvy now. We see a lot more signs around the Women's College World Series. Eldridge down to Mims, crossed away for the 3rd out of the inning. A walk, 1 left on, 4 complete, scoreless in the national championship. Back at the Women's College World Series, the national championship game, UCLA and Cal, as we move to the top of the 5th inning. We've talked all week about the big bats, Jenny Finch, but right now this has been a pitcher's duel.
Anderson and Keira Goerl have really done a good job of keeping the opposing hitters off balance, moving the ball in and out of the zone, making things work. You can see Anderson working the outside corner of the plate and the inside corner of the plate, keeping UCLA off balance, and Keira Goerl bringing the heat with their curveball and then upstairs with her rise ball. Anderson has 7 groundouts on the day with 3 strikeouts, while Keira Goerl has 2 strikeouts and 6 groundouts for the day.
The strikeouts not as prevalent with all the work they've been doing this weekend. Pop up, Toria Auelua retired. And there's 1 down in the 5th. Beth Mullins along with Stacy Newthman, Jenny Finch, and Ellen Weinberg. Cal looking to defend their national championship, the first ever for the Bears last year. And, Anderson giving up just 2 hits, while Cal has yet to get one against Keira Goerl. Buck laid down by Mejia. Step over to Canadian in time.
Well, we showed a sweet highlight reel of Courtney Scott all tournament long, doing a great job behind the plate. And once again, a nice sacrifice bunt, perfect placement, but the cat-like Courtney Scott is there just in time to make the play. Barehanding the ball. Didn't have a whole lot of time, but got the job done.
Courtney. Stacey, how tough is it on your legs, being in the squat position, coming out, exploding out of the catcher's position to the bunt?
Well, you talk about 60+ games on the year, so by this time in the season, you're pretty much in the top shape of the season, and I know it's the key to that play is just staying low, because you don't have a lot of time, and when you're talking about these speedy runners humming down the baseline, you gotta just stay low, and again, beside the bare hand on that last play, you gotta be as quick as possible.
49 miles an hour on the changeup to Andrea Duran.
We talk about that explosion from behind the plate. You notice she really never comes all the way up to her full stance. She stays low all the way through the play.
Anderson making quick work of the Bruins, her 4th strikeout of the game as we move to the bottom of the 5th. The Cal Bears and the UCLA Bruins in the national championship game here at the Women's College World Series, heading to the bottom of the 5th inning. And Cal still looking for its first hit against Keira Goerl.
Well, they're looking for hits. The batter stepping into the box right now, Chelsea Spencer, is definitely somebody capable of breaking it open here. We talked about her coming up with some clutch hits earlier in the tournament. And definitely somebody that Coach Landmeyer likes to see in the box.
Chelsea Spencer will lead things off.
Spencer, a member of the College World Series All-Tournament team last year as a freshman.
She's got my vote again this year.
I'm right there with you.
It's been some unsung heroes, and something that I think Diane Neinmeyer kind of relishes, the head coach for Cal, that they may not have the most recognizable names in the sport, but they have tough competitors, and they have young ladies like Spencer that step up in big situations like these here at the Women's College World Series.
Well, all week long, we spent a lot of time talking about the California presence here in the World Series as far as players, where their hometowns are. And one thing that Coach Neinmeyer is so proud of is that she's recruited really out of her backyard. There's 8 of her team members that come from the Northern California area. Some of them, Veronica Nelson from Oakland, just across the bay from Berkeley.
Pop up to Goerl. 1 down. Well, tonight on ESPN2, men's national team soccer action. The United States taking on Wales from Spartan Stadium out in San Jose, California. That's tonight at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on ESPN2. And the big news this afternoon from FIFA, the United States has been awarded the Women's College World Cup, which is set to be held this September and October. The Women's World Cup will be coming to the United States, and another opportunity to see the likes of Julie Foudy and Mia Hamm, Brandy Chastain here on our home turf in the United States.
Stacey, we might have to go get some tickets.
I know.
That's going to be an exciting event.
A huge event, and I know in many respects it was sort of a defining moment for women's sports. I mean, that was really the first time you saw commercials and TV with women's athletes, and you see, since that point on, Mia Hamm and the names you mentioned, everybody knows who they are, and that's a lot of because that last World Cup in the United States gave a chance for a lot of young girls to see women's athletes in action, and here at the World Series, it's no different. Lots of young softballers, many of them with signs trying to get on TV, but they're benefiting from those before them.
Originally scheduled to be in China, but it had to be moved due to the SARS outbreak. So Fufi deciding to bring it to the United States, and yeah, that '99 World Cup final in the Rose Bowl was just unbelievable to see. Over 90,000 people watching a women's sporting event in the United States, and millions more watching at home on television. And actually was the springboard for the WUSA, a professional soccer league in the United States. 2 pro leagues for soccer and basketball, and still working on bringing that professional softball league into fruition, and a lot more ties and a lot more talk with Major League Baseball, and perhaps getting them involved a lot more in helping a league like that take off for women.
It's definitely where our sport needs to go. The WNBA using the NBA. With that support, we can definitely make it something and give all these college softball players a future after college, so they can continue on with their careers rather than only them being a chance of the 15 to 18 girls making the Olympic team.
And here, Keira Goerl continuing to take care of Cal. This her 5th game in the circle in the last 72 hours. Cal hitless so far in the final. Out into center field, Ramos. Most major leaguers won't throw 5 games in about a month's time. She's done it in the last 3 days, and right now we're scoreless through 5. NATASHA WATLEY due up, and this is what she was a part of late last night in the 7th inning for UCLA.
Well, the Bruins waiting to the bottom of the 7th with 1 out. Monique Mejia comes through with a huge single. Freshman Andrea Duran lays down the sack bunt, putting Mejia in scoring position. And then the All-American, all-everything NATASHA WATLEY comes up with the run-tying RBI. And then again, Caitlin Baney brings Watley all the way around home to score and get the Bruins to this championship game here at the World Series.
Down 1-0 heading into the 7th. They tied it up, and Watley's run was the game winner, knocking out Texas, and a real gutsy pitching performance from young sophomore Kat Osterman. And NATASHA WATLEY trails only Stacey Newman when it comes to career batting average at UCLA. And I guess a compliment to Sue Enquist, who prior to your arrival was the all-time best hitter in UCLA history before you broke the record, and now Watley will surpass her coach as well. Right back to Anderson.
Well, Watley, always the spark plug for this Bruin offense, likes to get things started. She had a huge triple earlier on the day, but can't get anything going here in the 6th.
That is the last hit of the game against Anderson. That was leading off, or back in the 3rd inning, rather. Now, Caitlin Baney. We talked a little bit about the motivational skills. Ellen Weinberg alluded to it earlier. Head coach Sue Enquist at UCLA. I think my all-time favorite is it's a pretty simple game. You just go 60 feet and turn left. Doesn't take that much.
Well, players and coaches have a tendency to maximize the game. I know it's not a softball specific thing. All times in sport, people get too caught up in all the little things and make them big things. And like Coach says, 60 feet and turn left, and it's that simple. If you can simplify it that much, then the game is that much easier and more manageable.
Don't we wish it was only that easy?
I know.
course, now as we move into the 6th inning, and with a scoreless game, a situation where one mistake, one pitch that's in the wrong place, one bad hop can determine the national championship. You start feeling that a little bit, or are you so into the game at this point that that's kind of not even on your mind?
Your eyes keep creeping up to the scoreboard. You know what inning it is. You know how many chances you have left. You know that every pitch matters. We've seen so many games turned around with just one swing of the bat, one pitch.
Toria Mims, who has altered the course of several games at this Women's College World Series with her bat. 3 home runs, and now Diane Ninemeyer won't even take a chance against Mims. She'll be walked intentionally. So Cal giving the Bruins a little Veronica Nelson payback here. And just what we were alluding to, though, I think, Stace, you don't want to let somebody like Mims beat you.
No, you know, all the coaches today, both coaches today, have done their homework, and Toria Mims, 3 home runs on the tournament, just been sparkling for Coach Edquist in the offensive end, and with 2 outs, don't want anything to do with her.
And there's why she's the 2nd best hitter in UCLA history, behind Stacy Newfman, the all-time home run leader in NCAA play. We don't have a little notation there of how many of those 90 were hit off of Jenny Finch. I'm not sure if you recall offhand, or if Jenny remembers if that number was a big fat 0 over the course of your careers against one another, against, of course, former All-Americans at UCLA and the University of Arizona, and quite possibly teammates for the U.S. Olympic team. You've had a chance to play together, though, with the U.S. national team, and certainly a terrific rivalry, but now friendship developing as well.
Well, you know, we had a chance to play together for the first time this last summer on the World Championship team, and now we're working together in the booth, so hopefully we'll be that much better working together this summer.
And now it's Claire Sua. Right back to Anderson, and that'll do it. So the move to walk Mims pays off, as Kelly Anderson has only allowed 1 ball into the outfield all day. Back here at the Women's College World Series, and another terrific turnout here at ASA Hall of Fame Stadium over the course of the weekend. Over 30,000 fans coming through the gates to check out what has been some dramatic softball here at the Women's College World Series. And it looks like we are headed towards another thrilling finish. Last year's national championship game came down to the final inning, and a couple of years ago, it was a 1-0 affair between UCLA and Arizona. As Vicky Galindo will try and spark Cal here in the bottom of the 6th.
Going back to that 2001 game, a game that is definitely a bad memory in my mind. I know a great one for you, Jenny, but it was a 1-run game, a home run by Lindsey Collins, the catcher for Arizona at that time, and that was all the scoring that was happening. It looks like that's what's shaping up to happen today.
It's also very similar in which we had 8 seniors that year who had not won a national championship,
right.
and it would have been their first, or the first class to go through Arizona without a national championship.
You guys are just a wealth of historical information. I like this. In the championship game, Jenny completing a perfect 32-0 season en route to National Player of the Year honors, as Galindo slaps that one foul.
It's about time we're not talking about home runs being hit off me.
I figured I owed you a couple. I owed you a couple. 2-time National Player of the Year. How about that? And so right now, Cal and UCLA, who wants to be the hero in this one? Vicky Galindo has stepped into the batter's box more than anyone in this Women's College World Series. This is her 25th at-bat. Watley at short, 1 down. Let's check in with Ellen Weinberg.
Thanks. I'm joined by Keira Goerl's mom, Jenny. And Jenny, for you, your husband told me you sit down here so you don't have to watch the game. It's not a very good view from down here. How do you watch the game?
Well, I actually watched when Keira's pitching with my eyes closed. I don't see much of it. And I get a running commentary from my daughter. Oh, I also sit down here because Keira likes to see me. She likes to look over and know that she's got my support.
I understand the whole family is very superstitious. What's your superstition?
Well, I don't know if it's a superstition, but I have my angel that I keep with me. I have my cross. I rub them for good luck. Keep them closed as much as I can in my eyes and pray.
All right, quickly categorize how nervous you get watching your daughter.
On a 1 to 10 scale, I'd have to say I'm probably a 10.
All right, an honest, nervous mom. Let's go back up top.
Thank you very much, Ellen. And Keira Goerl, the numbers on her, 8 ground outs, a couple of strikeouts. There hasn't been a runner on board since the 4th. For Keira Goerl, it has been an unbelievable national championship game. We won't say it. We'll let the picture tell the story thus far.
This is where every pitch, every routine out must be made when it comes down to these last few innings of the game. Every little pitch, every little play has a huge impact. It comes down to this as the end of both of their seasons, approaching the last and final inning, which could be if someone scores for UCLA and Cal.
The 1-2 to Lindsey James, that foul. Well, certainly for Cal, if they can manufacture a run here against Goerl, that would really put the pressure on UCLA in their final at-bat in the 7th inning. Of course, the Bruins have created plenty of drama in their own late in the game. James making Keira Goerl work at this at-bat. Just a freshman. Chance to start the rally with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Already starting on the nails over there in the dugout. Keira's mom has been working the angel on the necklace. Strikeout for Goerl. Number 3 today for Keira. 2 down in the 6th.
Keira Goerl still bringing the heat in the 6th inning, going upstairs off Lindsey James, fooling her with the rise ball.
Well, we knew that Keira Goerl would be in the circle for the Bruins all tournament long. Coach Enker said there's no surprise to that. She's not going to hide that fact. That was something she was giving up from the get-go, and Keira Goerl still throwing strong after 600+ pitches.
Courtney Scott, one of 3 players to get on base, but obviously with Cal hitless to this point, all of those have been walks. 2 of them free passes issued to Veronica Nelson.
Stacey, I know waking up on championship day, that feeling of either you're going to be heartbroken tonight or you're going to be one of the happiest girls on earth when you get back to that hotel.
Well, both of us, again, know each feeling. I know the feeling of winning one. I also know the feeling of losing one. And we hope to be on the winning end.
Scott foul down the left field line. It is a short fence here at ASA Hall of Fame Stadium. Down the lines, just $1.90. About 10 feet closer to home plate than most stadiums around the country. And again, 19 home runs have flown out of this park over the course of the weekend, a new Women's College World Series record.
We have to take into account, too, it's only a 4-foot fence out there in outfield. Usually when you go to softball stadiums, they'll be 6 foot, 7 foot. So these are really short fences here in Oklahoma City.
And that height, that 4-foot height, can work either for or against. Sometimes it makes it harder to keep him in the park, but also it allows the outfielder a chance to catch him over the fence. We've seen a couple of those as well. So again, it can sometimes work in both ways, help the defense make catches and help the offense hit dogs.
Two-strike pitch to Scott. That one to left field. Duran is there. Side retired for Keira Goerl and UCLA. 6 complete. We head to the 7th in Oklahoma City. We move to the 7th, UCLA and Cal. And the pitching has been spectacular in this national championship. Kelly Anderson leading the way for the Cal Bears.
Anderson doing a great job of using that low zone, really working it in and out, the horizontal zone of the strikeout, causing UCLA to get on top of the ball, grounding out. She's had 11 ground outs on the day against the Bruins.
Unflappable Kelly Anderson sticking to her game plan of keeping it low. And now Stephanie Ramos will lead things off here in the 7th for UCLA. For the Bruins, they have scored 7 runs in this Women's College World Series in the 6th or 7th inning. 2 of their 5 wins have been won at their final at-bat. And another one, Toria Mims sent into extra innings with a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 7th inning with 2 strikes and 2 outs against Cal on Thursday. Ramos, another ground ball. Spencer, 1 down. Let's check in with Ellen Weinberg.
Thanks. Well, Coach Neinmeyer calls her star pitcher Kelly Anderson Batgirl. Kelly was Cal's Batgirl at a tournament at the age of 12. Cal won the tournament, and Kelly told her parents she wanted to be a pitcher and played for Cal one day. And then Coach Neinmeyer told me the moral of the story, be super nice to your Batgirl. You never know if she's going to grow up to be your star pitcher one day.
Thank you very much, Ellen.
That's a great story. Anderson living a dream out there on the mound for the Cal Bears.
How does the Batgirl, though, end up a pitcher? That's what I want to know. You think she'd want to get in the batter's box as much as she could?
Well, she's no fool. She sees the pitchers' faces on the TV screen all day. She knows the pitchers get all the love.
Oh, yeah.
Jenny got to admit to that.
I see you looking at
Future
me.
star right there. Well, we'll have to see. I don't know.
Anderson, an unknown coming in to this Women's College World Series on the national level, but as a lot of the coaches talk about, regular season, a lot of your postseason tournaments don't mean a whole lot, but when you get here, that's what counts.
This is your time to shine. Like Coach Katie Gasser said, people won't remember you for what you do in the season, but they'll remember you for what you do here at the College World Series. Your last few games, last few at-bats.
Another strikeout, number 5 for Kelly. Freezing up Zaplatosh.
And her parents, a happy couple, watching their daughter perform here at the biggest tournament of her life.
Other than the Olympic stage, this is probably the most highly anticipated, the most highly scrutinized, and now certainly with start to finish coverage on ESPN, the most watched softball tournament in the country. And it's made household names out of people like Stacy Newman, Jenny Finch, Jocelyn Forrest a year ago for Cal. Toria Auelua. Kelly right now has to stay focused on hitter that has shown some home run potential in this series. And another one on deck in Monique Mejia. Monique hit one a couple days ago. Toria had one yesterday.
See Monique, how close she is behind Auelua.
Base hit with 2 outs. Auelua, the go-ahead run on board for UCLA.
You saw Mejia on deck trying to get her timing down, trying to get as close as that into that batter's box as possible.
Auelua goes down and somehow managed to make contact. A ball out of the zone, and you see Pamanian making a diving attempt, but just not quite enough to get Cal out of this defensive inning. You know, we talked about the history of the 2001 World Series that Arizona and UCLA faced. Well, last year, Cal waited till the top of the 7th with 2 outs to get their offense going, and now for UCLA, only their 3rd hit here with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. So once again, maybe a little history repeating itself.
Can they do it for the 2nd game in a row? Rally in the 7th inning to win it. They would then have to set down Cal in the bottom of the 7th to do so. But the go-ahead run is on, and Monique Mejia with a home run and a couple RBI. And once again, it's a senior with a big chance in the batter's box. Of UCLA softball. Every class has experienced the joy of celebrating a national championship, except this one.
Coach Enquist told the team before the game, this is your time for redemption. You rarely ever get a chance to come back and beat the team that beat you coming out of the College World Series.
They have had so much support from all of their former alumni, their entire coaching staff, former players, former national champions. Tremendous encouragement and support from within the UCLA family.
I think there's 4 1999 national championship players that have made the trip out to Oklahoma City to support this Bruin team. So as you said, the history runs long and deep, and graduation doesn't mean you're done being a Bruin.
Auelua and Mejia trying to get something going against Kelly Anderson in the top of the 7th with 2 outs. If Anderson can work out of the jam, then it's Cal with a chance to win it in the bottom of the 7th. Down to Nelson, over to first. We move to the bottom of the 7th, and guess who will lead the way for Cal? Stick around, Veronica Nelson is coming up for the Bears. The bottom of the 7th inning, a chance for the Cal Bears to win the national championship. Facing UCLA and Keira Goerl, 1 run would do it, and Veronica Nelson will lead things off. And let's dive right into the strategy, ladies, because she'll be given the intentional pass, and she has already been pinch run for in the game today. So if they send out a pinch runner, Veronica Nelson would not be able to re-enter.
Well, it's definitely a tough call, because obviously having her on bases as a base runner is a little bit of a detriment for the Cal team. And then you can also say, well, she's not going to see any pitches, so what's the point of really having her in the offensive lineup? But at the same time, she's your leader. She's her senior year. Do you want to take her out and know she's not going to come back in the game if she is to come up in another situation? She comes up, let's say, bases loaded or something like that, and you have the next batter in there, you want her in. So it's I don't know, a tough call.
Do you take a chance here in the 7th to win it?
I take a chance. I put a pinch runner in there. You want to go for this in the 7th inning. You want to do it. She's not going to get a pitch all day long, no matter what, against the Bruins. This is it. You got Haley Woods coming up, sacrifice bunt, and then you have your hot hitters of the series, Eldridge and Spencer for Cal.
So Neinmeyer headed to home plate.
The Cal
and
Bears
she will make the change. Here comes the pinch runner. Lindsay Westcott. And a chance to make some history. Will she score the game-winning run in the second of Cal's back-to-back championships?
saw as Veronica Nelson got a standing ovation from some of the crowd here in Oklahoma City. It must be tough having to look at 12 straight pitches, 3 intentional walks here at the College World Series.
Now here comes Woods in a sacrifice situation. Pops it up. It's a fair ball to throw down to first in time, second. And safe as Westcott. So not the prettiest of sacks, but effective and a game-winning run now in scoring position for the Bears. With a 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, you see Haley Woods getting the job done, as you said, Beth. Not the prettiest of bunts. Actually, an opportunity for Zapatash to make the catch, couldn't hold on to it. But they've done the ultimate job. They've got a runner in scoring position.
Keira Goerl 0 for 2. Cal has not gotten a hit yet today off of Keira Goerl. And now Zapatash, the freshman catcher, will go over to talk to Kelly Inouye Perez, one of the assistant coaches. And obviously, the biggest pitches of Keira Goerl's career coming up right here. And the freshman wants to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Again, a great move by Zapatash. If you're not sure, don't take any chances. Go ask the coach what we're thinking here, what the plan is, and make sure you've got the right plan in mind. Last thing you want to do is make a costly mistake here in the bottom of the 7th.
Goerl goes away. 67 miles per hour. She's throwing it even harder now at the end of the game. Edwards will step out. Lindsey Westcott out behind Goerl, representing the game-winning and national championship winning run. Goerl's mom looking on. Eldridge, foul. St. Brian Einmeier bucking for cover. There's Veronica Nelson, her collegiate career coming to an end. She cannot re-enter the game, but certainly her taking the intentional walk and then coming out for the pinch runner could represent the winner. The 1-1 to Eldridge. Throws her. Strike 2 on the changeup.
Gutsy pitch by Keira Goerl coming in, getting Eldridge off balance, caught her off guard, slipping in a changeup, creeping ahead of the count on Eldridge.
Chelsea Spencer would be due up next. The 2 hottest hitters in the series right here for the Cal Bears. The 1-2 to Kaleo. That one fouled back. They are a combined 11 for 39 in the series. Eldridge and Spencer responsible for 8 runs batted in here in Oklahoma City. Eldridge pops it up in foul territory down the third baseline and out of play.
The last 3 pitches by Goerl have been on the outside part of the plate. She's trying to see how much further she can get Eldridge to chase. And it'll be interesting to see what she goes with here. I don't know, what do you call it, Jenny?
I call the same pitch. Eldridge, aggressive hitter. She's gonna be looking to swing right here. 2 strikes, go with the same location.
Well, if nothing else, too, you don't want her to be able to pull the ball to the right side of the infield, and that would allow the runner to move up. So she wants to try and make her hit it to the left.
Beth, did you used to play softball?
My old ASA days. Eldridge, low, 2-2. Pushing 70 miles an hour now from Keira Goerl.
Keira bearing down, giving it all she has here for the UCLA Bruins. Over 600 pitches on the weekend and still going strong.
Terrific at bat, displaying the feistiness that we have seen all weekend from the Cal Bears.
KRISTEN MORLEY can't bear to watch.
Off guard, coming in. We can see her here. Getting Eldridge, not expecting that inside pitch.
Again, we talked about working that outside corner over and over and over again, and as a batter, you start looking outside, and she sneaks one by her on the inside part. Good pitch sequence called by the Bruins.
So now it's Chelsea Spencer with 2 out. The winning run, representing a second consecutive national championship, is down at second base, Lindsay Westcott. It was Chelsea Spencer in the 10th inning against UCLA on Thursday night with the score tied. She drove one down the left field line and scored the game winner in what resulted in a 7-3 Cal win.
And you know that's in the back of Keira Goerl's mind. She's being very careful against Spencer. She has first base open. She's not going to take her chances here against Spencer.
One hit. That's all they need. That's one hit they have not been able to get yet today against Keira Goerl. Spencer foul down the third base line.
We talked the numbers, and you've got a hot hitter such as Chelsea Spencer standing in the batter's box. It doesn't matter if she smacks it or if she's only in a small package, doesn't have home run power. She's hitting very, very well here at the tail end of the season, and looks like Keira Goerl's being cautious, not giving her anything too good to look at.
The 2-1. Spencer to WATLEY at short. NATASHA, the throw across in time. The game-winning run left on board by Cal. Goerl preserves her no-hitter, and we're going to extra innings in the national championship game. Scoreless, UCLA and Cal in the national championship game, and we're going extra. And coming up for UCLA, the same group that did the damage in the bottom of the 7th last night to get the win against Texas.
On the bottom of the 7th, freshman Caitlin Bainey seals the deal for UCLA, bringing around NATASHA Watley to score. And you can see the Bruins are pumped up because they knew they would be here today, vying for a national championship.
Rallied from a 1-run deficit in the bottom of the 7th to beat Cal. The other big reason they are here, what a pitching performance from UCLA's Keira Goerl. A no-hit bid in the national championship game. And a terrific play by Spencer at short. One down in the top of the 8th.
What a grab by Spencer. What a time to pull out a play like that. Well-hit ball by Andrea Duran, but Spencer makes it look easy over there at shortstop.
Those are the kind of plays you need here at the College World Series on final day to keep your team contending for that national championship.
One down now, the top of the order, NATASHA Watley. Flew out in the first, tripled in the 3rd, and grounded back to Anderson in the 6th inning.
NATASHA WATLEY, who has run the bases in every single game for the Bruins, has not yet been able to get on base against Anderson.
The 1-1 pitch coming to WATLEY. It has been a while here at the Women's College World Series since we've gone extra in the national championship game. In fact, all the way back to 1985 when UCLA beat Nebraska in 9 innings. And interestingly enough, the first 4 championships contested went extra. WATLEY with a base hit. Go-ahead runs on board for UCLA.
Her triple was so long ago, I seem to forget about that. I didn't mean to take that away from NATASHA WATLEY, and here she goes, coming up big again for the Bruins.
Well, the icy nerves of WATLEY does a great job just slicing it through that 5-6 hole, but not overswinging. And the Bruins are excited because, again, a chance for a rally here. Once you got WATLEY on base, things can start happening.
Caitlin Bainey, who had the game winner last night that we just saw a moment ago against Kelly Anderson.
It's going to be interesting if Coach Sue Inquist decides to give NATASHA WATLEY the green light at first.
The all-time stolen base leader in UCLA history. Bainey lays down the bunt. The tag applied. WATLEY moves down to second with 2 out.
Well, there's been a few themes running throughout this World Series, and one of them has been the use of the short game. Coach Inquist, again, with 1 out, says the most important thing is to get my runner over. Bainey, a nice job of directing that bunt down the first baseline. And WATLEY, again, just a little stutter step. Takes her slide, and now she's ready to score.
And now more strategy coming up from Cal. Last time Mims came to the plate, they walked her. Will they do it again here? With first base open and 2 out. They then pitched to Claire Sua, who grounded out for the 3rd out of the inning. And they will put Mims on, so Neinmeyer and Enquist both in this championship game not taking any chances. Claire Sua, who would be coming up, has grounded out in her 3 trips to the plate today. 3 for 20 in the series. And a big opportunity for Claire.
Well, Claire Sua, as a freshman back in 2001, was huge for UCLA. Offensively, she stepped into a tough situation, saw a lot of pitches, and had quite a few game winners for the Bruins. So she definitely knows what it takes to get it done in this situation. It's just a matter of relaxing. Talk about relaxing. You see the Cal defense holding it together, saying, all right, we got 2 outs. See Courtney Scott sort of leading the meeting out there, and again, getting the defense all on the same page.
Claire Sua was an all-Women's College World Series selection a couple of years ago when she had 6 RBIs here in Oklahoma City. We are in extra innings in a championship game for the first time since 1985, and just the 5th time overall. UCLA's record, by the way, 3-1 in extra inning national championship games. A terrific pitching duel between Keira Goerl and Kelly Anderson, the sophomore for the Cal Bears, now working on 47 innings of work here in Oklahoma City since Thursday. Veronica Nelson, who was intentionally walked and then substituted out for a pinch hitter as Cal tried to score the game-winning run in the bottom of the 7th, but were denied.
Anderson really doing a great job of keeping the ball down, painting those corners of the plate.
These situations you and I both have lived, and it's definitely not an enviable position, but it's what competitors are made of, is coming through in the clutch.
Slow roller, Permanian at second. And again, the intentional walk to Mims and Sua unable to deliver for UCLA. Cal coming up again with a chance to win it. The national championship trophy headed back to California, but its final destination undecided through 7.5 innings of play. We're in extra innings in the national championship game. Will the trophy be headed back to UCLA or for the second year in a row to Cal Berkeley? At the Women's College World Series, Beth Mowens along with Stacy Newman, Jenny Finch, also Ellen Weinberg joining us, and we've seen so much offense throughout this week, and it's really come down, Jenny, to an unbelievable pitching performance here from Kelly Anderson and Keira Goerl for UCLA.
Both pitchers have been so dominant in this game, keeping both of their teams in this game here until the 8th inning, doing a great job of keeping hitters off balance, working that down zone.
Keira Goerl has been so impressive. UCLA losing the first game here. Just one other team in the 22-year history of this tournament has a team lost its first game and come back to win the championship. That was Texas A&M back in 1983. But the real significant point there is WATLEY fires over the first one down, is the fact that Keira Goerl has had to pitch so many games, so many innings this weekend.
Keira Goerl has left that behind her. She is leaving, living a dream that every girl pitcher wants to do. She's throwing a no-hitter in the championship game, doing a great job against these Cal Bears, trying to lead her 4 seniors to a national championship.
Definitely a position you know a thing or two about your junior year. I remember you talking so much about wanting to win it for those seniors. You know, she's got another season, but her 4 compadres out there don't. And then here you look at the numbers today.
Unbelievable.
47 more pitches on the weekend, 686. As we said, that's like a month or two for a major league pitcher. So a lot of arm circles for both these 2 young ladies.
That's phenomenal. Truly it is. I mean, you can't even describe that.
Sue Enquist, I remember asking about Keira Goerl, and this was even last year. She said the thing that sets Keira apart is we love to put her in the cooker. We love to put her in pressure situations to set her up for moments just like this, when she really hasn't been apparently feeling the pressure as she continues to work on Cal.
One of the keys to her game all year long has been getting ahead early. 0-2 here in the top of the 8th, bottom of the 8th. Obviously off to the kind of start, and we've seen those kinds of counts all afternoon. So again, she really is throwing her game.
Let's check in with Ellen Weinberg.
Well, I just caught up with head coach Sue Enquist. She says she told her team to keep the will. It's going to come down to who wants it more, and reminded her players no mental mistakes.
You know, mental mistakes, sometimes the difference. We talk about those defensive errors that teams all across this field have made this week. Really, a lot of the times it does come down to the mental toughness, just making the routine plays and staying within yourself.
1-2 now, the count to KRISTEN Morley. Extra innings in the national championship game. The Cal Bears, the 7 seed, UCLA, the 2 seed. In this all Pac-10 conference final. Keira Goerl's mom not even bothering to watch anymore. The 1-2 to Morley, slapped down to WATLEY at short. NATASHA, 2 down.
Well, we know this afternoon there's well over 5,000 people in attendance. But you wouldn't really know it. The crowd has been pretty quiet. There hasn't been a whole lot of action. We talked about Keira Goerl, no hitting through this, well, through 7, and now here in the bottom of the 8th as well. But really, this big number of people haven't had a whole lot to cheer about. It's been sort of an uneventful day here at the Hall of Fame Stadium.
And it has built up the drama now into the 8th inning. Back to Goerl, backhands it, fires, and Sua can't hang on to it. Vicky Galindo down to second base. once again, the game-winning run and scoring position for the Bears.
Well, Galindo, we talked about being so pesky. Goerl makes a nice backhanded play, but just can't make a nice clean throw to first base, and heads up base running by Galindo. And the Cal Bears know they've got some life. As long as there's an out left, they got something to go.
Lindsey James, the left fielder, 0 for 3 in the game. Goerl struck her out in her last trip to the plate. Lindsey is 1 for 22 in the series. And a chance right here to win the national championship for Cal. The 1-0 pitch, foul.
Cal in the same position as last year. It's only 1 out later.
They had their big rally last year in the 7th inning to win their first national championship. Looking for back-to-back. Jenny Goerl would much rather see the Bruins take the trophy home. Behind an incredible pitching performance by her daughter Keira thus far, but Keira trying to work out of a jam for the 2nd inning in a row. Freshman Lindsey James in the left side of that batter's box. That pitch from Goerl misses just away at 67 miles an hour. She had one a little while back, 69 miles an hour, the fastest pitch of the series. And she's late into her 5th game in 3 days.
Approaching 700 on the pitch count of the weekend.
2-2 to James. That one misses low and away. Count full with 2 out.
And one thing to think about too, you look at who's on the on-deck circle for the Bears. Courtney Scott, their senior. So UCLA would definitely like to get the job done on this batter. A little bit less of a threat in Lindsey James than is Courtney Scott.
And Galindo down at second, a chance to get a bit of a head start here with 2 outs in the 3-2 count. She'll be able to go. Cannot leave until the ball leaves the pitcher's hands. She is the national championship run right now for Cal. James fouls it back.
We've seen these Cal batters battling all day long. A great at-bat earlier in the game by Claire Aldridge that went 6-7 pitches deep. Lindsey James herself going deep in this count. And really making Keira Goerl earn everything she's gotten this afternoon.
Three-two to James. Right back to Goerl. Keira the first, got her. Game-winning run stranded for the 2nd inning in a row. Goerl's no-hit bid continues as we move to the 9th. UCLA and Cal scoreless in the national championship game of the Women's College World Series as we move to the top of the 9th inning. A pitcher's duel between Keira Goerl and Kelly Anderson has been right there with her, throwing a 4-hitter thus far, Jenny.
Anderson doing a great job in her first College World Series appearance in the final game, moving the pitches in and out, working the down zone on the Bruins, causing them to 16 groundouts on the day, 5 strikeouts, and only 1 ball has left the infield off of Anderson today.
That was NATASHA WATLEY, the first batter Anderson faced back in the 1st inning. Everything else has been on the ground. Strikeouts, and now Stephanie Ramos will lead things off, and Ramos sends one into the outfield. Back to the fence off the wall. Ramos legging it out for second, and she's in sight for the leadoff double.
Well, Jenny, we just finished talking about Stephanie Ramos struggling so much in this series. But sometimes those are the kind of batters you don't want to face because they're due. That being her 11th double this season, and no better time than now. Again, going with that pitch. The outside pitch by Kelly Anderson. Driving it in that left field gap. Right off the fence, just a couple of feet maybe from going over, and little Pete Rose into second base.
Just the second hit of the series for Stephanie Ramos. And only the third time today that the Bruins have gotten a runner to second base against Kelly Anderson. Next up, it's Emily Zaplatosh. Some of the underclassmen here, a chance to help out the seniors. The UCLA foursome that is seeking its first national championship and looking to join every other UCLA class in the last 29 years to win a title.
We just finished talking about Stephanie Ramos having a rough series. Zaplatosh 0 for 14. So another hitter that's struggling at the plate. Although I don't know if she's going to get the swing her bat. It looks like Coach Inglis might have the bunt on. Once again, going that short game, trying to make scoring opportunities and put somebody on third base.
Like we said earlier, Stacey, people will not remember you for the month of May. They will remember you for what you do here today in the College World Series. Every at bat, you can change your perception of your season.
That's it for a strike on Zaplatosh. 2-1. Cal and UCLA faced elimination all day yesterday. For UCLA, they faced elimination the last 2 days and have survived. Zaplatosh, the bunt, a good one. The sacrifice works. And the go-ahead run, 60 feet away from home.
So many coaches preach execution, the small ball. That's such a huge part of our game, is getting the sacked bunt down. Zaplatosh coming up big for the Bruins. Advancing Ramos to third, giving herself up.
Zaplatosh actually pumping her fist before she even hit first base. She knew that was her job, was to move Ramos over to third, and she did that very effectively.
And now a couple of seniors coming up here for the Bruins with a chance to get UCLA the lead.
Once again, as you said, Beth, a senior comes up, a chance to do something here. We've seen the UCLA seniors coming through all series long. Last night, keeping their hopes alive to even get to this game, so it would be an interesting finish to a great career for any of those senior players.
The Fab Four have driven in 12 runs in this Women's College World Series. If I may borrow a phrase from Stacey Newman.
The Fab Four, I like that one.
There is the fabbest right there. NATASHA WATLEY looking to close out her brilliant career with a national championship. The 0-2 Auelua. Count now 1-2. Toria has struck out, popped up, and she singled off of Anderson in the 7th. Fouls that one back. One out here in the top of the 9th inning of the Women's College World Series National Championship game. UCLA and Cal scoreless.
Jenny, what do you throw in this situation?
I go another one inside on her, get her to foul it off, and then bust her out.
Anderson tries to nibble on the outside corner.
Anderson, one pitch ahead of me.
Just putting you on the spot a little bit over here. I'm sitting here trying to imagine what I'd be calling back there as well.
You guys, seems like you guys are both in the game. They're up here in the booth, biting their nails. They're pacing back and forth. Auelua down the third. The base hit for Auelua. Scores Ramos. It's 1-0. UCLA.
The junior Ramos comes up big, driving a shot to the wall, giving the Bruins a chance, putting her on second base, and it comes down single. Too tough for Galindo.
Looks like the ball just snuck under Galindo's glove. She makes a diving effort, and Ramos, reading the play, is pumped because she knows she represents the potentially winning run for the Bruins. They're definitely excited.
So UCLA up 1-0 with 1 out here in the 9th. Mejia to Galindo, trying to double up the first. Able to dive backhand safe. But the second out of the inning.
This has been such an emotional College World Series.
The chance for the double play, Galindo quick to get rid of it, but Pedretti can't hang on, and the first base umpire couldn't really see, but you see Pedretti struggling to find the ball. It's obvious she didn't have the catch.
Came out of the glove and rolled underneath Auelua, and now Henry and Duran with 2 out and 1 aboard. UCLA, the go-ahead run here in the top of the 9th inning. A Ramos double, and then Toria Auelua with the RBI single for the Bruins. Veronica Nelson, who would have been due up in the bottom of the 9th inning had she not been pinch run for when Cal tried to go for the game winner in the bottom of the 7th inning. So it will have to be somebody else for Cal to produce in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, we knew that strategy would be costly or a great call one way or the other, and it looks like it may have been a little bit costly for the Bears. Coach Neidmeyer, again, forced to be in that situation many, many times, but she's still got plenty of offensive power around Nelson. Give them a chance their next time up in the bottom of this 9th inning.
Full count now to Duran with 2 outs. Auelua over at first. This is in, so now 2 out. With 2 outs, and that enables NATASHA WATLEY to come to the plate. And now a discussion in the circle. They intentionally walk Watley to load the bases and choose to pitch to the freshman Caitlin Beatty. Of course, also in the back of Cal's mind is the fact that Beatty had the game-winning hit last night. A pinch runner coming out, Sue Enquist making a change. Julie Hoshizaki will go on to run for Auelua out at second base.
The Cal Bears sticking with Anderson, sticking with what got him here to the College World Series, the sophomore.
Keira Goerl, she has the run she needed. She will try and close out Cal in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Put herself in the record books for one of the all-time greatest pitching performances. Spencer going to third and gets the 3rd out of the inning. UCLA, the double from Ramos, and then Toria Auelua delivering the RBI single. Will the senior class bring home the national championship? UCLA grabbing the 1-0 lead in this Women's College World Series National Championship, and Stephanie Ramos got things started in the top of the 9th for UCLA.
UCLA with their chance of redemption against the Cal Bears. Ramos comes up big with the stand-up double. Zaplatosh laying down the sacrifice bunt. And Toria Auelua, one of the 4 seniors, comes through big, scoring the 1 run that could lead them to the national championship.
And due up Courtney Scott, and then behind her what would have been Veronica Nelson is instead Michaela Pedretti on the on-deck circle as Cal made the gamble to pinch run for Nelson and pull her out of the game in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Veronica will have to watch and hope one of her teammates can get the job done. Courtney Scott started the rally in the 10th inning on Thursday night for Cal in their win over UCLA.
So much of UCLA's 4 seniors. This Cal Berkeley team, 6 seniors of their own. Courtney Scott, one of those. She does have a national championship, unlike the Bruin foursome, but she'd definitely love to get another. And first and foremost, get things started here in the bottom of the 9th.
And first and foremost, get the first hit of the game off of Keira Goerl. The junior has been throwing a masterpiece here in the national championship game.
Keira Goerl still going strong, pitching high 60s consistently throughout this final game, approaching her 700th pitch of the College World Series. Such a phenomenal performance out of Goerl.
Scott down to Mims, bobbles, the throw, in time! 1 down, and the Bruins are 2 outs away from the title.
Well, once again, Toria Mims solid at third base. This senior class has stepped up in this tournament, particularly towards the end when it's really, really counted. And they've led this team this far. They know they only have 2 more outs to get that long-desired national championship ring.
And so now, instead of Nelson, the .366 hitter with the home run swing, it's going to be Michaela Pedretti stepping in for the Bears.
Pedretti only has 23 at-bats on the season.
Just 2 hits this year for Michaela.
And actually has not a single at-bat here at the World Series, so it's quite a time to step in and take your hacks.
Facing Keira Goerl.
Coach Inc was very pleased with their win over Texas. Last night they had to come back and beat them twice, and she said finally the world gets to see what Bruin softball is all about. They have really turned it around from their first game, losing to Cal.
Well, I think what's so important to be said, Jenny, about it's not often you get a chance to come back and beat the team that knocked you into that elimination bracket. UCLA has made the most of that opportunity this afternoon.
Lisa Fernandez, Amanda Freed, Courtney Dale, Debbie Doom, Lisa Longacre, the long list of UCLA legendary pitchers. None of them have thrown a no-hitter in the national championship game. WATLEY, 2 down. Keira Goerl is now 1 out away from doing just that and giving the Bruin seniors their national championship. The last chance here for the Bears.
Keira Goerl digging deep on every single pitch. Their hearts are racing.
The 0-1 from Goerl. UCLA 1 strikeout away. championship, Keira Goerl throwing a 9-inning no-hitter in the final. But for Toria Mims and the other three, the trophy is theirs to take home. The 9th NCAA championship for the Bruins as they deny Cal back-to-back titles. 1-0 in the final. Toria Auelua, the game-winning RBI in the top of the 9th. The Chevy Trucks winning moment for UCLA. The final out of Goerl's no-hitter. Haley Woods, the fly out, and Goerl's reaction to the title. The Chevy Trucks winning moment in the 2003 Women's College World Series National Championship game.
And what a job well done by Keira Goerl and the rest of her Bruin teammates. The celebration doesn't get any better than that.
Such a phenomenal performance all around for the Bruins, from their senior class to the junior in the circle.
The final in the national championship game, UCLA won, Cal nothing. And we'll be back to Oklahoma City after this. Welcome back to Oklahoma City. UCLA, the national champions, with a 1-0 win over Cal. In 9 innings, Keira Goerl throwing a no-hitter for UCLA. And let's send it down now to Ellen Weinberg.
Thanks, Beth. And Toria, we'll start with you. Your biggest RBI of your career. Your senior class finally won a national championship. Describe the feeling.
It was so great. It was awesome. It was the best feeling to go out with.
What was going through your mind when you were up at the plate? You knew you had a runner on base. You knew you could be the hero.
Well, I knew she was throwing right side to the outside of the corner plate, and our offense has been coming through so much. I had confidence in Mo and Duran, so I just knew I had to choke up and at least just poke it to the right side so I can somehow get something to work. I just had to make some kind of contact.
And you did that. Congratulations. We'll come over here to the star pitcher. You were the workhorse all weekend long. Did you ever fathom you'd finish winning a national championship with a no-hitter?
I mean, not a no-hitter, but I knew we were going to come out and work as hard as we could and win it, so.
What's your reaction to winning a national championship? Describe your feelings you're having right now.
It's amazing. I mean, I can't even describe it. It's so amazing. I don't even know what to say.
Congratulations.
Thank
Wonderful
you.
weekend. Congratulations on the national championship. Beth?
Thank you very much, Ellen. A tremendous pitching performance from Keira Goerl, and UCLA wins the title. And what a battle it was between Goerl and Anderson in the final, Jenny.
You couldn't ask for two better pitching performances on both sides. What a gutsy weekend for both teams. Congratulations to UCLA.
And the Bruins senior class, Stacy, 4 years in the making, but they get their national championship in their final appearance in a Bruin uniform.
We talked about it before the game, how badly those 4 seniors wanted to go out with the national championship, and they did it, and they got it done. And now they can say that they are one of the many at UCLA 2003 national champions.
The 9th NCAA title for the Bruins. UCLA won, Cal nothing. The final score in 9 innings at the Women's College World Series National Championship game. Coming up next, it's baseball tonight. For Jenny Finch, Stacy Newman, and Ellen Weinberg, I'm Beth Mowens. We've enjoyed it here, our entire crew. Thank you so much for being with us. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.